Hey guys, Western Mine Detective here, coming at you with another mine exploring video. So this is actually the second time that I've been in this mine. So I'm going to leave the link in the top right so you guys can check that out. But right up there, the main reason why there's not that much light coming in is because there's a semi-collapse and there's also two barrels blocking the way. And then right here, we've got a pretty unique gate opener for this ore chute. Unfortunately, this doesn't turn anymore, but that's really awesome that we still got the wheel and the chains. And then there's looking way down. I believe this mine goes down about 550 feet vertically. So this is going to be quite the explore. Alright, so here's the first pretty cool artifact for the day. So this is actually a Bull Durham smoking tobacco. I don't know if this is an advertisement or if this would have been on a pack, but you could see that there's a bowl, and then right below that it says smoking tobacco, something T. Blackwell and Company, Blackwell Durham Tobacco Company, Durham, North Carolina. But yeah, that probably dates to the 1920s or so. So there's a look down the incline shaft, and I believe I made it to the 100-foot level. There's a look down the left-hand drift, and then there's a right. And then looking up, you can barely see the little dot of white, which is the top of the shaft. So if you guys remember from the last video, I only hit up the right-hand side drifts, mainly because the left was super sketchy. But I really want to finish up this mine, or at least what I could of it, so I'm gonna head off each left-hand drift. And right here we already got a pretty substantial collapse, but it looks like I could go down the right-hand side. So there's looking back where I just came from. There are just so many snapped stoles and timbers, and there's a couple thousand pounds of rock on top of those. And then here's looking down into the stope. Also lots of rock fall here, but apparently it is impassable past this point. So 100 level is a bust. So right now we're on the 200-foot level, and looking up, you can barely see the little dot of light, which is a portal. And like I said, we're going to be hitting up the left-hand junction. I got this, what I believe is an accumulator, in the way. I'm just gonna roll over it. Alright, got past that. Then we got an ore chute right here. And then a really substantial collapse. Looking, could definitely get over that. Alright, so just like the 100-foot level, apparently this 200-foot level left-hand drift is also fully collapsed after about 50 feet. And right here we got a totally smashed wedge. And then right behind me, we actually got an ore chute, which is pretty cool. But yeah, as you can see, there's just so much rock that has fallen. Alright, so I'm quickly approaching the 300-foot level, and from my research, I believe the left-hand junction actually connects to another mine, and this is one of the more extensive levels, so hopefully this one pans out. That scared me. Alright, so there's looking off to the left. You can see it's partially collapsed. And then over here, I actually got an ore car wheel with the shovel running through it. It's pretty interesting. If I remember correctly, these were actually on the other side. And then there's quite a few artifacts just scattered about. I showed that in the last video. But yeah, I'm not going to go off this way. I will be heading off the left-hand drift. Alright guys, so I actually lied. I headed down the right-hand junction, and there was actually a drift that headed off to the right, and I was like, I swear I did not go down that one last time. So apparently I didn't. And right now I've been walking for a good almost 10 minutes down this one drift, and it is really extensive. You can see there's already a couple ore chutes. So this might actually connect to the mine that I was talking to, which would be really awesome. But yeah, looking up there, it's a pretty big stope. From what I can see, it goes up about maybe 40-50 feet. Oh, dang. Check this out, guys. This is quite the awesome find. So, like I always say, no explorer is complete without one of these Prince Albert tobacco tins. But this one is in immaculate shape. You could read everything. Prince Albert crimp cut, long burning pipe and cigarette tobacco. For pipe and cigarette smokers. Yeah, that's an amazing find. Leave that right there and continue down. So there's actually quite a bit of gobbing both on the right and left. On the left it's stacked about maybe 5 or 6 feet high. Usually don't see that. Oh, my head. See, that's why we wear helmets. Oh my god. And then there's actually a it keeps going a good bit. It's actually a semi-collapsed drift to the left. Oh, and we pick up a bit of rail here. Oh, and there's also a semi-collapsed drift off to the right. That keeps going. There's at least 3 or 4 ore chutes that I see. Let's follow the rail real quick. Ooh, and there's a couple pieces of newspaper on the ground. Let's read a couple of these articles. Washington, California lauded saliva tests receiving barns effective in this state. That's interesting. Let's see what this big chunk got. Looks like it's talking about baseball. Says Chicago results. And then this is talking about cigars. Long filler Havana. You can see that guy has a cigar in his hand. And then, ooh, there's a guy playing football. Running back. Ah, that's awesome. And then This looks like it actually faces in about 15 feet. So I'll head back and check out one of those other drifts. So there's a look at the rock and rubble that I just crawled over. Right over here, there was only about like 4 feet of head clearance. And then right behind me, there's just so many pieces of newspapers from the 1920s and 1930s. But this piece right here, this is one of the biggest pieces off of a newspaper. It's almost a whole page. So this one's talking about United, how they have faster service. Talking about the travel times, and then there's super old school looking dress shoes. And then there's actually a date right up here. It says Thursday, October 17th, 1935. Right up there. And then if I flip it over, there's an ad for Johnny Walker Scotch Whiskey. And then this is actually by the Los Angeles Examiner. Wow. This is just so cool to see. Piece of paper from the 1930s. This one says, "Last of Panama Canal builders succumbs." And then down here it says billion U.S. deficit. Yeah, that's just so cool to see. You can read literally everything. It's just in such great shape. And then unfortunately, the drift just ends right there. So I'll go check out the other one. So that's where I just crawled from, and I'm pretty excited right now, guys, because I can feel air rushing past me in this direction. So that tells me that there's probably an opening to the surface over here somewhere. So hopefully we can find it. Alright. There's a pretty substantial pile of rubble right here. Oh, I see plants and stuff. All these dead plants. So you know what that tells me? There's probably a shaft right up there. It's probably 200 or 300 feet above me, but there's a shaft. So I'm gonna pause you guys real quick, look over that way, and assess the situation. Alright guys, so I kind of got a little carried away on this one. So looking up here, I actually found that connecting shaft, and probably 30 feet above me is the surface. But if you look right there, there's what looks like a fridge or something blocking the ladder. And there's also a tire right there, so I don't even think you could rope down this one. So, and then there's looking that way. Here's looking down this drift. I already looked there. It ended. But I actually went up about 3 or 4 levels. So yeah, like I said, I got carried away. And then I think it was on the first level that I seen, I went off this direction and then took a left, and there was actually another shaft over there that was at a slighter angle than this one. This one's probably at around 80 degrees, which is pretty steep, almost vertical. So yeah, I actually found 2 connecting mines that connected to the one that I started in, which is pretty dang cool. So I'm gonna go down there, show you guys some of the artifacts, and then be headed out. So there's looking up the shaft. You can see that it gets a bit steeper right up there. And then here's looking off into this pretty big stope. Got a couple stools over there. Lots of rock fall right over here. And then here's the next level. Let me just go down one or two more rungs and step off. Alright. So I seen these couple cool artifacts. I think this is the cover off of an old tobacco tin. Would have been square. That's pretty cool. And then got this pretty dang old ketchup bottle that probably dates to the 1920s, 1930s. Yeah, it's pretty rare to find fully intact bottles inside of mines, and then I don't know if there's that much cool stuff that direction. So we will continue down. Alright guys, so I went down another level, and if you see these rungs on the top, those are quite a bit newer. Those are probably from within the last decade. And obviously these ones on the back side, these are probably date to the 1930s or 1940s. The reason that they're on the back, or I mean on the bottom side, is because there would have probably been a skip bucket. You could kind of see it's greased up here, and it's pretty well worn. There would have probably been a skip bucket running up and down this ladder. And then here's a look off to the left. You got a couple stools. This is actually a collapsed drift. And then looking off to the right, I believe I went down that one. It ends, I could see, in about 30 feet. But a pretty cool retaining wall up above. And then lastly, we got a look down. This is actually the next level. There's a trap door, or at least there used to be a trap door. And then I think the one below this is the first level, and that is the one that connects, I believe I went left and then took another left, and then there's another shaft, which is just insane, but lots of mines out in this area, so makes sense. Alright, so there's a trap door that I was just talking about. And then if you look over in this direction, you can clearly see the vein that they were chasing at this particular angle. Keeps going on that way. And then the ladder is pretty nice over here. Really nice angle. Up above it was at, like I said, maybe close to 80 degrees, and now it's only at close to 45 or so. So pretty drastic change. Looking off to the right into the stope. Yeah, you can see right here it drops down again at about a steeper angle. And then I think this is the level that had so many artifacts, at least on the left side. I think I checked on the right, there wasn't that much. So if I remember correctly, there's actually a super awesome and old miner's shoe, which I'm guessing dates to around the 1930s. It's got those rivets in the heel plate. It's got some nails keeping the sole together. But yeah, that is one amazing find right there. And then I think there, oh yeah. And then here's actually what would you call this? I guess the base off of an old wheelbarrow. Obviously Doesn't have the body or the wheels, but that's what that is. There's where you pick it up. And then there's an old barrel, and not much else in this section, but if I was to go down there, this is where it connects to that other shaft, right around that direction. But I'm running out of time, and I've already been in this mine complex for about, let me see, close to 7, almost 8 hours. So I'm gonna be heading down and showing you guys the rest of this stuff. Oh man, I can't tell you guys how great it feels to be off of these ladders. I know I gotta do the other ladders, but these were like, you know, a little sketchy, so definitely glad I got off of those. And at the way bottom of this shaft, got this old riveted shovel. You can see how worn it is. And then this is probably one of the cooler finds of the day. You can see on top it says blasting caps dangerous. And you can still see little remnants of the paper label, so yeah, pretty cool blasting cap tin. And then I'm gonna be headed off this way. Yeah, so this is probably gonna be one of the last things I record. I just want to show you guys this really unique ore chute. I've never seen one with this specific orientation, with all these retaining walls around it. And then there's a look back at where I just came from. There's an ore chute, and then you could really tell that water has seeped into here. The floor is like really cracked. And then right here, this is actually where I crawled down from, and then a pretty big stope up this way. Alright, so here's some really cool miners graffiti from the 1930s. I believe the name says Janie Bass. Maybe it's Janice. Not totally sure, but the year is 1933. And there's a date down there. It says April 17th, 1934. And then there's another, actually I think that's a place. It says Salisbury. And there's some initials, PGP. And then I'm gonna keep heading down. Yet again, here's some more miners graffiti. I think that says RC 1927 and GC 1927. So we're getting a bit older. There's even another little, it says RC 27, and some little doodles. Pretty cool. Well guys, that's the end of this explore. It was way better than I expected. I did not expect to find 2 connecting mines, just one, but yeah, that's pretty awesome. Lots of stuff in terms of artifacts. A couple Prince Albert tobacco cans. Let me see, a couple blasting cap tins. What else? Few shovels. Not a lot of big stuff, but lots of cool smalls. Ooh, of course that ketchup bottle. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I definitely got to come back so I could do that other connection all the way to the top and check out all the other levels. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.